I'm repairing my seals, but to get to my seals properly I need to remove the rear quarter panel, or rear wing as I would call it. Now in most cases they will just cut the rear pillar and cut the front pillar and re-weld them. If you want to remove the whole wing, you need to unfasten the roof. Now I haven't done that because it looks like an awful lot of spot welds, some bolts. I don't think it's as straightforward as it may appear. Nothing ever is, you know, there's no way it'd be just held on with a few spot welds. So potentially what you need to do is clean up the edge of the quarter panel all round, and then drill out all the spot welds using a spot weld drill bit. There's an awful lot of them, essentially all the way up the inside of the door, all the way up to the roof. Potentially it's tucked under here and tucked under the roof with a fold, so it is, without taking the roof off you won't get this out. So in my case it's been cut. Obviously I was going to obviously remove the whole thing, and then realised you won't get it out without taking the roof off because it's overlapped underneath. So you need to drill all the spot rivets all the way round. There's a whole bunch of them along the under edge. Go all the way round to the back. There was that's a rot hole there. There's what I've had to drill out. Then come to the end, I had to drill all these out, all the way up, all the way around the arch. My arch is pretty rotten, so that was a bit of a nightmare because it was just falling apart. All the way around the back of the arch, all the way on the underside lip, around to the rear. There's 2 or 3 on the corner here that need doing. Then up here there's 3 plates there you need to drill through, potentially all the way through, in order to get the 3rd sheet, which is the wing, out. As you can see, it's in there. Obviously I've been round, I've done all this, hence why it's moved. All in here, you need to drill all those out. Up around the boot liner, and then up along where the window sits. There's a couple of overlapping plates here, so you need to get one here. Again, you need to drill through 2 skins here because it's sandwiched between 2, and it's the middle one you need out. There's one at the top here, or only 2 in this case. In some places it's like they've messed up spot welding it and they've put in an extra. You need to unspot weld the 4 tags that are inside the petrol cap, all the way up the window. Now if you look here, it does go up to here under the roof. I've bent the lip up, but in order to get that out, because that runs all the way across here, you would need to remove the roof or prise that up. If you do that, you're going to spoil the roof. So I've opted to cut it. There is some form of soft weld there that holds the roof down to it. And then potentially I've cut through the seam weld that was across the top of the roof. Now this is where the factory joined it, so I thought that would be the best place to cut it. Just used a little Dremel for that. It's quite easy. Obviously you need to go around the window frame and remove all the spot welds there. There is one, that's the window hole, so that's not a spot weld. But there is one right back here. If you don't drill that out, you won't separate them. So once you've been round and done that, there's 2 in the pillow. They're quite big spot welds that need taking out. Potentially once you've drilled all of those, you should then have a loose wing. Now this isn't going to come out unless it goes backwards slightly, because of the way it's tucked around this rear here. So potentially as you lift it, you're going to have to jiggle it towards the back in order to get that off. It's probably advisable to get a friend to give you a hand. Now I'm just going to pause this video and hopefully just lift this off now. Okay, so I've pulled that off. Did have a little bit of trouble manipulating it off this piece because it's quite tricky. It's quite tightly folded over. For those of you that haven't seen, see, now that's off, can clearly see up under there. I can, you possibly can't, but it actually goes all the way into here. If you look there, that is the wing. Okay, with the wing removed, this is what the vehicle looks like underneath. Front door pillar in the skin, possibly a Japanese spider, dead one, as this was imported. Sill, obviously the sill's joined here, it's tacked underneath this, it's tacked to this back piece, and it also joins around here. I don't know if you can see my rust, well, you'll be able to see it from underneath. Look, it's rusty, but it is rotten. So I've got hopefully some sills on their way. It's so rotten it's so you can get these sills apparently from Nissan themselves, and they import them from Japan, looking around £300 to £400 for the pair. I managed to find a set on eBay. They're not a complete sill, but they'll enable me to cut out basically up to here, get rid of all the rot. Once I've cut that out, I'll be able to get inside and treat. There's a bit of rust right back into this bit. Actually, I should be opening that up, taking that off. This is your arch. Again, mine's all a bit rotten. Oh, the inner arch. Essentially, this is now the time for modification. Fuel tank skin. Actually, that's riveted in there as well. I opted for the easier option of taking the outer piece off. Actually, it'll want plenty of sealant putting back in. Good clean up, potentially get rid of any little bits of rust, and I should be giving it an additional coat of primer. And there you go. That's what the R33 looks like with no rear wing on. I've only done this video because if ever you look on YouTube, there's very little about the R33, or seems to be. Lots on the Skyline and owners forum, but they're buggers. I've been a member of them for well over 10 years, but I can't remember login details. See, my inner arch should obviously be nicely curled over. It's just rotten away, so I will potentially have that cut and a new piece welded in its place. I'm looking at putting bigger rims in, so I may well extend this up and out so that I can have bigger rear arches. Then we come to the back, just a little quarter pocket. All this has to be pinned back together but the wing's got to tuck in there first. Again, I think I'm gonna have that off and get rid of any rust. Obviously the boot seal is an issue for rust. It leaks, it has been leaking, so I shall separate those and get rid of that rust. Maybe have some new pieces made up, or see if I can purchase them, depending on expense. So there we go, an R33 minus a rear quarter wing, quarter panel I should say. I hope this video helps somebody. Give it a like if it has.